Welcome back to the Movie Man. Today I will show you a 2022 crime thriller film, Borrego. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins in the sheep desert. There was the protagonist Ellie who saw a plant called mimulus, similar to chamomile flower. Then Ellie left in her vehicle to travel those long roads. In a short time she arrived at a small town and looked for a place to stay. A woman told her on the phone to let her know where she went, reminding her that they love her and miss her. In another place, we see Guillermo sealing a hole in the ground with a shovel. When he finished, he used his truck to flatten the land, or probably the grave. He got a call asking him if he fixed his mess. He told him of course Colonel, but they were going to need another pilot. He drove through that sector again. He got out to look for a treasure. In the other scene, Ellie stopped and saw the traces of that man's vehicle. A girl Alex approached to see if she was not lost. She told her that she was fine. At the insistence of the stranger, she allowed her to help her find that place on the map. They went together to take pictures and save other species because the researcher is a botanist and was studying an invasive plant. After a while they got tired. The sun was strong. The girls talked for a few minutes, but since it was time to leave, she told her friend that she better go back home. She still had some things to do, for example, cry watching the sunset, remembering something sad that happened to her back with her. This guy Guillermo turned on some lights on the ground, seems to be waiting for a plane to land. Ellie witnesses a small plane crash into the desert, and she decided to leave as she didn't want problem. In the end, she drives over to see if she can help, only to find the pilot and finds Thomas, injured but alive. She saw something reckless. Seeing the suspicious packages scattered, she runs and Thomas began to shoot her without regret. She could not flee as she got stuck on a rock and ended up giving up to the gunman. She begged him not to kill her. Thomas, listening to her, found out that she was a gringa and didn't understand anything. That's why he started thinking about what to do with the girl. Ellie frantically negotiates, telling him she can take him to where he needs to go, the Salton Sea area at the southern end of California. There was no time to lose. If they were discovered, there was no chance of getting out of that disaster alive. That caused Ellie hit something. When Thomas got up to drive, he found out nothing strange and proceeded to go away from the site. Thomas and his hostage set off into the night. Guillermo in the vehicle arrived at that place and found that drugs is missing. The colonel was still waiting for the plane to arrive. He told his boss what was happening, and they thought that the pilot had double-crossed. Ellie asked him if he is armed. He did not answer her. She expected the worst, so she proposed not to say anything to anyone as long as he let her go. Thomas turned out to be a bad driver and crashed the car against some cactus. He saw that he couldn't do it. The tire was all buried. He got out to see if he could solve. No way. He had to use the suitcases from the botany to store the drugs and then go on foot to that location. She told him he was crazy as it was 50 miles. It would take several days. Guillermo in his caravan was angry. He knew that his boss would kill him if he did not deliver the product on time. In the other scene, both Ellie and Thomas looked tired. They had not stopped all night. The sun was getting more and more intense. Jose went out looking for the culprit. The patrolman told him over the phone that they found some bodies on the border in the middle of the desert. He did not want to take responsibility for that and asked to send another team. Suddenly the Guillermo saw a bright flash. He knew it was the pilot and went to follow him. Thomas suggested first to drink some water and then resume with the plan. Thomas sensed that they were looking for him. Ellie walked away a few meters to pour water and she began to run around a corner. Managed to hurt Thomas with a stone. He scared her again with his pistol and instead of killing her, he tied her hands with a rope. Jose met his daughter Alex and recommended her to take another road. She was on her way to school, which was 2 kilometers away. He asked her if she had seen a botanist lost in the area. The girl heard this news and confessed to her father that she was with her and that she had run away from class. Jose had to accompany her. They arrived at her hotel room. The administrator told him that the girl did not return. He told his little girl that he would take care of it. In the other scene, Guillermo arrived at the scene and understood everything that happened. Now he had to follow the trail of the escapist to snatch the bags from him. On the ground, he found the bullet casings. He walked to the side and observed the signs of Ellie's vehicle. He climbed into his truck and began to follow that trail. Back with Ellie and Thomas, they already exhausted, They could not resist the heat. The man fell to the ground. Ellie recommended that they look for shade. Thomas did not want to listen to her because the best thing was to return to Borrego Springs and call a friend to take him. Thomas revealed that Guillermo was on his way and he was going to kill them off. When he found them without reaching any agreement, she helped him with his leg wound as it was bleeding. While Guillermo continued looking, he did not have to travel far to run and found the girl's car. He met some motorcyclist. They did not know each other and they talked about what could have happened. They wanted to call the police to investigate. Guillermo killed them both and saw the footsteps left and started following them. Jose started looking for the botanist very quickly. Ellie and Thomas finally reached the shade and sat down to rest. Thomas gave her another bottle of water so that she could recover a little. She asked him why his plane crashed. He replied that it was a damaged plane whose engine was damaged and he didn't have a radar. The girl got up looking for a place to urinate. She asked him to give her a hand with her pants and let her do his thing without seeing her. When she finished, they started walking again. The officer continued to investigate. After a while, he arrived at the girl's vehicle and found with the unlucky ones lying lifeless on the ground. When he saw the trunk, he understood what they were forcing him to do and asked for backup by radio. The situation was serious. However, no one responded to his emergency call. He proceeded to follow him quickly. Every second was important to save the girl, while Guillermo did the same, observing the footsteps of Thomas. He did not understand why they changed the route. The policeman stopped to see the car one very far away and knew he had to get there. He got the bulletproof vest in his patrol car. Guillermo saw him coming and hid very quickly. When Jose got out to inspect, he heard some small rocks falling from the hill. He climbed up and did not meet anyone. Even so, he advanced very carefully. He was about to be ambushed by the Guillermo when he fell several meters into the void. Guillermo entered the patrol car of the presumed dead officer and started it to let her go alone until it gets damaged or runs out of fuel. Alex was worried when she didn't receive call from her dad. Guillermo used the map to understand where he should go. Ellie and Thomas were not far from there. When she looked at the ground, Ellie found his special plants. The trail ended at that point and she already asked Thomas to rest. Thomas asked to climb first as there was still daylight. She asked him to let go of her hands, otherwise how was she going to climb? She was not a goat from mountain. Alex arrived at the sheriff of the county of San Diego and called the radio test car. Alex went looking for him. At nightfall, both managed to reach the top. They built a bonfire to warm up on that cold night. Only then did they introduce themselves with their names. Thomas asked her what she was doing alone. She told him that she was looking for the plant. Thomas told her that he used to be a teacher. His brother was pilot and since that business gave a lot of money, he left his other drug dealer. At first he did not know that his cousin was working for those people. He invented a story that he transported gasoline for some truckers also. His father was sick and he needed medicine. Ellie shared that flower was her favorite. Her little sister gave her that nickname a few years ago. She wanted to be a botanist and also a very happy girl, unlike the girl who never felt happy or comfortable. That's why she took pills for depression and anxiety. One day she took her to school and since she hadn't slept in 3 days, she ran a red light and hit the little girl in an accident, due to which she feels guilty all the time and decided to run away from her past life. Tom Atilkes told her never to run like a sheep but like a wolf, which is not afraid of anything and bravely faces his monsters. At bedtime, he tied the girl's hands and they lay down on the floor. On the other hand, Alex continued searching without stopping for her father. After a while she stopped and saw some lights near. As she got closer she understood that it was the police car. Jose was not there. She used the flashlight and looked for shoe prints. He climbed back on the motorcycle. Following the marks from those mysterious tires, a little further away she began to call her father. She found the object that he left. In a short time at the top she hears Jose's voice calling her back. He told her to leave soon as it wasn't safe. He told her everything that happened. He asked her to get help and come home. Alex ignored him as it was just the two of them. Tonight she didn't want to leave him in that hole but use a rope from the truck to get him out. Ellie woke up out of nowhere and tried to free herself with that knife hidden in her ankle. She did it without waking Thomas, who was still asleep. The next day, Jose was able to get out. While the botanist was able to get away from Thomas, She ran into Guillermo, who seeing her began to follow her with his pistol. She quickly ran away, but Thomas grabbed her from behind. They stood watching for a moment and let her go in peace. Thomas, upon seeing him, told Guillermo that he was the pilot. Explained that the other packages were burned when the plane crashed. He asked him to leave Ellie alone. No one else had to pay for that mistake. Guillermo tricked him and shot him. Ellie didn't want the same fate and kept running. She saw Alex's motorcycle and the two girls managed to escape from Guillermo. She couldn't take it anymore with her abdomen wound. As bad luck, Jose missed all his shots. Alex tried to take her friend away from the Guillermo's truck, who didn't waste time either and started chasing them. Ellie was losing strength as she was about to fall off the motorcycle. She lost consciousness. Guillermo had it very easy. He caught Alex to finish her off and reacted accordingly. He tried to burn Alex with gasoline. In the meanwhile, Ellie put gasoline on drugs and burned it. She saved her friend, the reliable one. Jose found her daughter safe and sound, and they cried with happiness when they saw that nothing bad happened. Ellie saw her favorite flower and the mess ended that way. That was all of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Click the like button and subscribe to watch more videos like this, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.